Camila stood frozen in her parents' driveway, her heart pounding as her eyes searched the spot where her pearl-white BMW used to sit. The shiny car she had gifted them just 6 months ago was gone. The driveway looked strangely empty, almost mocking her. Her mother stood a few steps away, eyes on the ground, fidgeting with her apron. Her father leaned against the porch railing, sighing heavily. "Sweetheart, calm down," he said softly, avoiding her gaze. Camila's voice trembled. "Where's the car?" No one answered right away. The silence grew thick until the front door burst open and her younger brother, Ryan, came out grinning in a tuxedo. "Camila, you should have seen it," he said excitedly, showing her photos on his phone. The party was insane. Fireworks, limos, everyone was talking about it. Camila blinked, her stomach twisting. The pictures flashed before her. Decorations, expensive catering, crowds of people celebrating. She saw her parents in the background of one photo, smiling proudly beside Ryan. It hit her all at once. The laughter, the silence, the missing car. It all made sense. They sold her car. Her throat tightened. "You sold my car?" Her mother finally looked up, guilt flickering across her face. "Ryan worked so hard, Camila. He deserved a moment to shine. You know how much this meant to him." Camila took a step back, her breath shallow. "So you sold the car I gave you to throw a party?" Her father tried to sound calm. "It wasn't just a party. It was a celebration for the whole family." Camila's chest burned. She remembered the day she handed them the car keys, how happy they looked, how she felt like she'd finally made them proud. She wanted them to have something beautiful, something that showed her gratitude for all their struggles. But now that moment felt fake. Ryan laughed again, scrolling through his phone. "Relax, Kang. It's not like you can't buy another one." Her hands shook. She stared at him. The golden child who always got everything, the one they always put first. The air around her felt heavy, like it might crush her. Her mother reached for her hand. "Don't make this a big deal. We just wanted to do something special for your brother." Camila pulled her hand away slowly, her face empty of expression. "I gave you that car to say thank you," she said quietly. "You sold it to say my brother mattered more." No one spoke. The laughter from Ryan's phone faded, replaced by the faint sound of the wind brushing past the empty driveway. In that silence, something inside Camila broke. The small, fragile belief that her love for them had ever been enough. Camila is a self-made woman, a nurse practitioner who worked her way up through scholarships, late-night shifts, and years of exhaustion. Nothing in her life came easily. She studied during lunch breaks, skipped parties, and took extra hours at the hospital just to pay her tuition. Every step forward was something she earned with sweat and sacrifice. Her parents had always struggled with money. Growing up, Camila saw them fighting over unpaid bills and overdue rent. They often reminded her how expensive life was, how much they were doing just to keep things together. But even with little, they always found ways to give her younger brother, Ryan, more. Ryan was the bright one, the one they believed would go far if only he was supported enough. When Camila was a teenager, she overheard her mother telling a neighbor, "Camila's strong. She doesn't need much. But Ryan just needs a little more help." That line stayed with her for years. When Camila was 14, she came home from school one day, holding a certificate for topping her class. She ran to show her parents, hoping they'd be proud. Her father smiled briefly, but before she could finish talking, Ryan came in crying about losing a soccer match. Her parents rushed to comfort him, leaving her standing alone in the living room, certificate still in her hand. It was always like that. When she got into nursing school, she was thrilled. It was her dream to help people and make something of herself. But when her graduation day came, her mother didn't show up. She'd gone to Ryan's soccer final instead. "You understand, don't you, sweetie?" she said later. He really needed the support. Camila said nothing. She was used to understanding. As the years passed, she worked harder, pushed further. She sent money home when her father lost his job. When her mother wanted to start a small catering business, Camila quietly gave her the funds. When their house needed repairs, she paid for that too. Her parents always said thank you, but she noticed how quickly they began to expect it. Every phone call became a gentle request, "If you could just help us one more time." Still, she never complained. She believed love meant giving. When she finally became financially stable, she wanted to do something special for them. something that showed how much she appreciated their sacrifices. She spent months saving up and surprised them with a pearl-white BMW. The joy on their faces that day made everything worth it. Her mother had tears in her eyes, her father hugged her tightly, and for the first time in a long while, Camila felt like their daughter again, not just their helper. "This is my thank you," she told them, "for believing in me." She didn't realize then that what they believed in wasn't always her, but what she could provide. Even after all those years of giving, a part of Camila still longed for something simple, to be seen, not as the strong one who didn't need attention, but as a daughter worthy of love and pride. She thought the car would finally do it. She thought they would look at her and see how far she had come, how hard she had worked, how much she wanted them to be proud. But deep down, there was still that quiet ache, the same one she'd felt as a child standing in the living room with her certificate, the feeling that no matter what she gave, it would never be enough. And soon, she would learn just how right she was. Camila stood in her parents' living room, her arms crossed tightly over her chest, trying to hold herself together. The air felt heavy, thick with silence. Finally, she spoke, her voice low but firm. "Why did you do it?" she asked, looking from her father to her mother. "Why did you sell the car?" Her father sighed, running a hand over his head. "Camila, it's not a big deal. Ryan's graduation party was important. Family celebrations matter." Camila's heart pounded. "You used something I gave you, something special, to throw a party?" Her mother spoke softly but without regret. "Sweetheart, you can always buy another car. But Ryan only graduates once. We just wanted him to feel special." Camila blinked, her mouth slightly open. For a moment, she couldn't even find the words. "That's not the point," she said finally. Her voice cracked. "You didn't even ask me. You just decided." Ryan, sitting lazily on the couch, looked up from his phone and smirked. "You always act like you're the only one who works hard. It's not like you're the only successful person in the world." The words hit her like a slap. She stared at him, remembering every night she had worked double shifts, every holiday she'd spent at the hospital instead of with friends, every dollar she had sent home to make their lives easier. And now, her own family made her feel like she was selfish for caring. Her father crossed his arms. "You're making this too dramatic. We all benefited from that car. It was for the family. Why are you acting like we stole something from you?" Camila's voice shook, but her anger rose. "Because you did steal something. You stole my trust. That car wasn't about money. It was about love. It was me saying thank you, and you turned it into something else." Her mother frowned. "Don't talk like that. We're family. Family helps each other." Camila took a deep breath, her eyes burning with tears she refused to let fall. "I've been helping this family my whole life, paying your bills, covering your debts, funding your dreams. But none of that ever seems to be enough, does it?" Ryan rolled his eyes. "You really think you're the hero here, huh?" That was it. The room seemed to spin around her. The people she loved most were looking at her like she was the problem. Not the one who gave, but the one who demanded too much by simply asking to be respected. Camila grabbed her bag and turned toward the door. Her mother called after her. "You're overreacting. We're family, Camila. Don't do this." Camila stopped at the doorway, her back to them. Her voice was quiet, but it cut through the air like glass. "You're right. We're family. But that doesn't give you the right to keep breaking me just because you know I'll always forgive you." She opened the door and walked out without looking back. The cool air hit her face as she stepped into the empty driveway, the space where her car used to be. For a long moment, she stood there, staring at the spot that now symbolized everything she had lost. It wasn't just a car. It was her gratitude, her trust, her belief that love meant giving. But in that moment, something inside her changed. The ache that had lived quietly in her heart for years finally snapped. She was done being the dependable one who gave everything and got nothing back. As she walked to her own car parked down the street, tears blurred her vision, but she didn't stop. This time, she wasn't driving away in anger. She was driving away to save herself. Camila stops calling home. Days turn into weeks, and the silence between her and her family grows heavy, but she doesn't mind. Each day she feels a little lighter, even as guilt nips at her. Her phone buzzes constantly with messages from her mother, each one more desperate than the last. "Camila, you've changed since you got money. Why are you ignoring us? We're still your family. You don't have to be so harsh. Ryan needed us. Camila reads them, her stomach twisting. She doesn't reply. She can't. Every word reminds her of how little her feelings seem to matter to them. At work, she tries to focus on her patients, but her mind keeps drifting. She listens as they thank her for helping them recover. Their smiles warm and genuine, but it only deepens the ache in her chest. She's giving to people who actually appreciate it, yet the family she grew up loving most treats her like she owes them more. Her coworker Naomi notices. Naomi is blunt, the kind of friend who doesn't sugarcoat things. Cam, she says one evening while they clean up the supply room. You're punishing yourself for other people's greed. You can't keep letting them treat you like this. Camila looks at her frustrated. I can't just cut them off. They're my family. Naomi shakes her head. Family isn't about taking advantage of you. It's about respect, Cam. You gave everything, and they still treat you like you're wrong. That night, Camila talks to her Aunt Lorraine, hoping for some clarity. Her aunt hesitates, then quietly tells her, they've been telling relatives you're selfish, that you care more about a car than your own brother. The words hit her like a punch to the chest. Rage and heartbreak collide inside her. Every memory of sacrifices she made, late-night shifts, money sent home, surprise gifts, flashes in her mind. They made her out to be greedy for being human, for hoping to be seen. Meanwhile, Ryan's life begins to unravel. A video of his graduation party goes viral. Footage of him mocking working-class guests, flaunting wealth he never earned. The job offer he had lined up falls through after the clip circulates online. Her parents call Camila again, their voices tight with worry. Camila, her father says, Ryan needs a little help until he finds something. Can you? Camila stares at the phone. She feels the familiar pull of responsibility, the old urge to fix everything. But this time, she does nothing. She doesn't argue. She doesn't explain. She doesn't apologize for feeling hurt. She just hangs up. For the first time, she allows herself to breathe without guilt. She begins to see clearly. Love without respect is manipulation. The family she poured herself into didn't want her generosity. They wanted control. She starts focusing on herself. She throws herself into her work, but differently now. Every act of care is intentional, not expected. She begins volunteering on weekends, teaching financial literacy to underprivileged teens. She enjoys seeing them learn, grow, and appreciate every small victory. Slowly, the anger inside her starts to settle. It doesn't disappear. It never will completely, but it changes shape. It becomes strength, a quiet force she can rely on instead of a heavy burden she carries for people who won't value her. Camila is learning, bit by bit, that stepping away isn't betrayal. It's survival. It's realizing that protecting your heart doesn't make you selfish. And for the first time in a long time, she feels like she's choosing herself, not just giving herself away. Months later, Camila returns home for her grandmother's memorial. The house feels the same, yet different, the air heavy with memories and unspoken tension. Her parents greet her politely, smiles in place, pretending nothing ever happened. It's almost worse than anger. It's the feeling that her presence is tolerated, not welcomed. During the memorial dinner, everyone sits quietly, passing dishes and murmuring small talk. Camila keeps her eyes on her plate, but then Ryan laughs, holding up his phone. Guess I'll never get my Tesla fund back, he jokes, glancing at her with that smug grin she hates. Something inside Camila snaps. Her hands clench, and she looks up, voice shaking but strong. You think this is funny? She asks, staring at both her parents. You think it's okay to make a joke about something you sold that wasn't yours to sell? Her father frowns. Camila, it was just a car. Don't make a scene at a dinner like this. I want to make a scene. Camila replies, finally letting all the years of pain pour out. Do you even know how much I've done for this family? How many nights I worked double shifts? How many bills I paid when you couldn't? How many sacrifices I made so you could live comfortably? Her mother shifts uncomfortably. Cam, that's a lot of exaggeration. Camila shakes her head. No, it's not exaggeration. You ignored everything I did. You ignored my achievements. You ignored me, and then you sold my car like it was nothing. Like my love, my effort, my heart. It was all nothing to you. Her father stands abruptly, anger rising in his voice. We never asked you to do all that. You didn't have to. Camila yells, tears welling up. You just let me believe that love meant giving until I was empty. That if I worked hard, if I gave everything, you would see me. But you never did. You just took. Her mother's eyes fill with tears, her voice trembling. We sold the car because we thought Ryan's party might bring the family together. We wanted you to feel proud of him, not resentful. Camila freezes, her chest tightening. For a second, she wants to believe her mother. But then she learns the truth, from a stack of old bank statements she had glimpsed in the drawer before. They had taken out a small loan against the car months before the party. They had planned to sell it from the start. Her voice cracks, barely a whisper, but it cuts through the air like glass. You didn't just sell the car. You sold the last bit of me that believed you cared. You planned it, and you lied to me every step of the way. Silence falls. Ryan fidgets, avoiding her gaze. Her father opens his mouth, then closes it. Her mother shakes her head, unable to speak. No defense, no excuses, no lies left. Camila feels a strange mix of grief and relief. The truth is out, the betrayal named, and finally, she is free from pretending that their love was real. For the first time in years, she sits back in her chair, her heart aching but lighter than it has been in a long time. She doesn't yell anymore. She doesn't plead. She just breathes, knowing that the next chapter of her life doesn't have to include anyone who thought her love was something to use. Camila moves to a new apartment, focusing on her own peace. The space is small but hers, quiet, calm, and free from the weight of constant disappointment. For the first time in years, she can breathe without thinking about anyone else's needs before her own. She blocks her family's numbers for a while, not out of hate, but to give herself space to heal. The constant calls and messages, the guilt trips, the reminders of what they took from her, all of it fades into silence. She feels the relief like a soft, warm light spreading through her chest. Naomi visits one evening, settling on the couch with a cup of tea. You know, Cam, she says, forgiving them doesn't mean giving them access to your life again. You can forgive and still protect yourself. Camila nods slowly. The idea feels strange at first, but it makes sense. Forgiveness isn't about opening the door, it's about letting go of the weight. She can forgive her parents without letting them hurt her anymore. She starts volunteering with a group of underprivileged teens in the neighborhood. She teaches them about money, savings, and how to make smart choices with the little they have. Watching their eyes light up when they understand something new reminds her of why she became a nurse in the first place. To help, to give, to make a difference. But this time, her giving comes from strength, not obligation. Every lesson, every smile, every thank you from the teens fills her with joy she hadn't felt in years. She starts seeing herself as someone who can love and help without losing herself in the process. The anger and hurt she carried don't vanish, but they shrink, replaced by a quiet pride in her own resilience. One night, after a long day at work and volunteering, she sits at her desk and writes a letter to her parents. Her hand shakes slightly, but her words are steady. I forgive you, but I'm done earning your love. I'll just love myself instead. She leaves the letter on her desk, not intending to send it. It isn't for them. It's for her. A promise that she will never trade her peace for their approval again. Camila feels a calm settle over her, the kind that comes from finally choosing herself. For the first time in a long time, she smiles genuinely. She doesn't need their validation. She doesn't need their praise. She only needs to keep moving forward, building a life filled with respect, love, and strength for herself. And in that quiet apartment, she knows she finally can. A year later, Camila receives a message from Ryan. She opens it and sees a photo of him standing next to a modest car, smiling at the camera. The caption reads, "Guess I finally get it now." Camila feels a mix of emotions, relief, surprise, and a quiet pride. Her lips curl into a small smile, and tears gather in her eyes. She types back simply, "Good for you." Behind her, her own car gleams in the driveway. It isn't a luxury car, but it is hers. Earned with her hard work, untouched by anyone else's expectations or guilt. She leans back in her seat and takes a deep breath, feeling the freedom she fought so hard to find. For the first time, she feels completely at peace. She has chosen herself, her boundaries, her happiness. The anger and sadness of the past year still linger, but they no longer control her. Camila whispers to herself, a soft smile on her face. Sometimes, walking away isn't selfish. It's the first time you're choosing yourself. And in that moment, she knows she truly has. Hey friends! Thanks for sticking around till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. See you next time.